but minus the fact of yeah, round differential. There we go. Good lord, my brain. But we are going to see an Abana get banned first, so that's definitely going to be one of your standard bans here on Coastline.
Yeah, Hibana brings a lot of utility to the board, and such does Nomad, so she will not be a factor in this one. And I talked about being that soft support and support kind of role. Nomad is one of the best operators when it comes to denying areas for the defenders to push in through. Her air jabs, although they let off an audible dinging sound, it's not very easy to counter them. You have to prone, you have to put yourself at obscure angles in order to shoot it. You're not also going to see a smoke band here. Smoke playing behind a deployable shield here on Hookah and in Kitchen, he is just absolutely one of the best operators you can choose for that situation. So not seeing him and not opting to set like an Echo off the board or a Mira is actually kind of interesting. Just as I say it, Echo is going to be banned. So somebody to watch though, Mira is still on the board and she could be playing a huge factor.
Yeah, I can't believe the smoke pick came out. I think that's extremely different from what I've ever seen. And I'm wondering if they're banning that smoke to try and give them some sort of an advantage to try and rack up the rounds here on attack. This is a attack favored statistical map, meaning they could just be trying to run the table to see how far ahead they can get. But we are going to see quite the interesting lineup here between the Rook and the Lion. We're going to see if anything gets six picked off.
Yeah, definitely a Lion play here is kind of questioning. You usually don't see Lion played all that often, and with a Jackal now to boot. Instead of going Zofia, bring a Jackal and a Lion, one of the OG combos from back in the Toxic meta days, still a very powerful combination that you have to watch out for. And no less so on especially Coastline, where defenders roam like crazy. You want to try and deny it. Interesting that the defense opts to go Penthouse first. And again, I told you that Mira is still on the board. Guess what? They got a Mira.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually exactly what I was going to say is Mira is really only strong these days, in my opinion, on Penthouse. I feel like every one of her other Mira spots can be very easily managed with vertical play. And I noticed the six pick to the Mirror, and I said, okay, well, that might be interesting for a Hookah, because that's where I assumed he went. And then I looked down, and I was like, oh, we're going to Penthouse. Okay. So definitely an interesting first round here that's going to come out. And honestly, I'm extremely intrigued to see what they can do here. We've seen G2 hold this, but it was with the help of a Clash. No Clash here, just a Mirror, and we're just going to have to wait to see if Unreal Academy understands how to take this site with no hard breach either.
Yeah, and a hard breach here, not having one, even in a Thermite could help you here. That's going to make it 10 times more difficult to try and open up White Wall. So right now, it looks like it's going to be a Hookah side take here for Unreal Academy, and it's kind of what you have to do. Actually, no, it's going to be a bottom to top take. He's going to peek the hatch, sees one. Delta doesn't pull the trigger. Maybe he's behind the Mira, but it kind of looked like he was stood right up. Okay, so he's actually behind the Mira, but Cupcakes is going to find Fly down below by the desk. That will be the first frag of the match. 2 minutes on the clock and a quick pick for Banditry.
Yeah, Cupcake is that guy we talked about, the highest rating on this team coming into this matchup, and he's proving why he's doing so good. But Artful quickly going to trade it right back out on Confused, who is trying to maybe do a little bit of sneaky plays through security. And ironically enough, it's the IQ that's going to take him out, although I don't believe it was because of her gadget. But nonetheless, it is the counter to Vigil, quote unquote, because you can see him with that gadget. Lean playing in VIP, however, and if he's not droned out, which it looks like he will be, he's probably now going to have to try and go for some very aggressive picks here, depending on what happens. And Cupcake, though, going to help out the likes of Castle and is able to find that deep shot and find his second kill of the round.
Yeah, that's a great play there from Cupcakes, knowing that his team was in trouble and good communication just to get that kill and not leave him so exposed. When you're flashed, you don't know what's going on, so good job by your teammate picking up the frag here. Now, on the other hand, Unreal Academy starting to slow down on attack here. Now making it a 3v4. It's going to be Natural spraying down through towards VIP, landing some shots, but Artful ultimately gets the kill onto Lean inside of VIP after spraying for quite a bit. 34 seconds left. The smoke grenades coming out from Delta. Now trying to get rid of those line of sight on the Mira. Cupcakes, though, is playing behind one safely so. Just under 20 seconds left to play. Natural's going to swing in and try and plant near the window. We have Artful on the flank to cover, trying to stop Castle from pushing up. It's going to be a full plant as the diffuser will go down. We're now find ourselves in a post-plant situation. Bodies fall. Cupcakes finds his third. Delta will be the victim there. And it's going to be Natural on the rappel and Artful somewhere near VIP. Cupcakes knowing he has to move, but the Lion scan's gonna go off, though. Almost give away his location. He's gonna try and peek the window. Not a lot you can do as a defender here. You have the post plant established. He's gonna peek out. This is 4th kill for Cupcakes. Can he find a 5th? He's gonna be peeking towards penthouse window, trying to stick the plant a little bit. Bait him a little bit, but it's going to be Lion finding the kill. Just under 6 seconds left. Natural's gonna pick off the last 2.
Yeah, I have to say that seemed really weird. I don't know what the Mira was doing in that post plant, and I honestly expected the jump out from the Jaeger. He was on that quad kill, and Ace there would have won them the round, but the Mira just, I don't know where the Mira went, to be honest, and it just didn't look like she was doing anything to help out. Not to mention her C4 was missed, which is a big mess up on the side of Tactical Banditry, and that's really a round they could have won had that C4 just landed. With that being said, we did see a 3K from Artful, and obviously the final 2 from Naturel, and a quad kill on round number 1 from Cupcake.
Definitely the way you want to be starting it out here for this match on Coastline. An electrifying one using the Lion and his utility to get a plant off near penthouse window. And that's not something you see very often, considering that Penthouse really relies on just killing everybody in sight. But the ability to actually smoke off those Miras and get a plant down, use that Lion scan and deny any kind of push, counter push from the defenders there. Absolutely flawlessly well done from Unreal Academy. Let's see if they can do it again here, as we're going to find Tactical Banditry going to Hookah. And again, they have this Mira.
Yeah, the Mira going to come and play again. Curious to see where it gets put. I kind of stated last time, I don't feel like Mira is really as powerful as it used to feel like, but a Mira here on the top of these Cool Vibe stairs could actually be quite a game changer. We'll have to wait and see how it pans out, and of course, wherever she decides to put that second Mira. With that being said, that was an extremely good opening take from Unreal Academy. They were able to get that plant in. Natural was able to get back out, and Artful was able to create that opening for them to get that opportunity. Unfortunately, Delta and Sir Meeps along with Fly were not able to really make an impact, but we can say those smoke canisters might have been the reason that he was able to go for that plant.
And absolutely, at the end of the day, it doesn't come down to the frags. It comes down to about how well you work as a team, using your utility wisely and effectively. Delta, no stranger to that at all. We are going to see him downstairs in kitchen, though, trying to clear out any of the roamers, although it doesn't seem that there are any. Still 2 minutes and 8 seconds left in this round, and still 5v5.
Yeah, it's definitely not. There's definitely still plenty of time, but the problem is I don't think they know Cupcake is here. He's going to shoot and miss the shots, so now they're going to know that one is in Sunrise. The Lion scan comes out, and they're going to have an opportunity to try to push, as it looks like we might have seen the wall get open, but once again, Fly's going to find himself taken down by Confused.
Yeah, we are going to see the Jaeger of Cupcakes fall, but immediately refragged from Confused, but he is going to fall as well now, making it a 3v3, all tied up here. Moving down into a minute 25. It's going to be Meeps a lot, moving up Cool Vibes. We'll find 2 there. A triple kill on the round for him now, as it's all up to Hop, sitting in sight with the SMG-11 to take on 3 attackers of Unreal Academy, one of them still being a Lion, with most of his utility remaining. He's going to get droned out, though, and that could be the downfall for Hop here. He has the SMG-11 in hand, trying to take the long-range engagement on the Aqua balcony. Does not successfully do that. Will peek out towards Cool Vibes, but will find Natural slacking in the middle of 90 hallway, now making it a more manageable 1v2, and he still has 100 HP. And he actually has the diffuser now. So now it's up to Artful and Meepsalot to use their drones and their intel effectively to try and get Hop out of this location here in 90, prone behind the box.
Yeah,
He's going to be pushing up close, though. He's got the shotgun in hand, but it's going to be a refrag from the IQ. Artful will find the last kill. I'm sorry to cut you off there. I apologize.
No, I was going to say a beautiful play from Meepsalot. That was what we were talking about, needing to see him show up for his team, and he's going to find a 3K on that round, effectively giving them the opportunity to take their second round in a row. It was a very beautiful attempt on the side of the Mute, who I believe, who was it? Was it Hobson? Yeah, I believe it was Hobson. Almost so close to being able to get that double clutch. But once again, Unreal Academy just being able to work these rounds and proving why Coastline might be one of their maps.
Yeah, it was another good round here from the attackers of Unreal Nightmare Academy. Maybe these bans are actually working out in their favor. Even though Nomad is off the board, they still brought the Lion instead, the Lion and Jackal combo, to try and counter these roamers and hunt them down. It's actually kind of surprising to still see that this meta is still so effective as it is, considering that both Lion and Jackal have had significant nerfs, considering also that Jackal got his ability reduced to see the length of time the footprints were in an area rather than have the ability to scan them, and they don't stay on the ground as long, so it's a little bit more manageable to roam. But before that, with Lion still having the wall hack ability, it was awful. So definitely now a good spot for these operators, but still super powerful in this meta.
Yeah, I mean, I really couldn't agree more. Even with a nerf, the two of them combined are still going to create quite a pack of a punch when it comes to trying to clear roamers. That's why they're both still heavily effectively used. Lion's kind of fallen off a little bit, but he's always been a favored operator on a map like Coastline. With that being said, it looks like we are going to have this sort of hold here, and oh no! Confuse is going to find the opening kill onto Sir Meepsalot, who I believe was going to drone out Blue Bar, but a beautiful refrag from Vly onto Confuse. But Cupcake not only finds that, but he finds the Lion.
Outstanding refrags here from both sides, as now we're going to find a 3v4 situation, and Unreal Academy is facing their first deficit of this match. iDelta trying to hunt down the Jaeger of extra cupcakes down here inside a kitchen. We're going to see Artful miss some shots onto the dock on Cool Vibes. He will find cupcakes, though. Swings with the G8, but Lean is there with the MP5 to eliminate him. Overstimming himself, trying to peek out near Hookah balcony. Now a 3v2, and this attack from Unreal Academy is starting to fall apart as Vly is outside of Hookah window, trying to spray in and get any kind of damage off onto the defenders as we hit 1:30 left in this round.
Yeah, I mean, two players left up are still very good players. You have iDelta, who, if you've been watching any of the previous seasons, has always been one of those guys that has had his name at the top with some of the others. And Vly was one of their other top-rated players and had above a 1.0 rating. So this is still very winnable if they play this together, but they are on the opposite sides of the map, and iDelta has the diffuser, but he's not really in any sort of position to get close to that bomb site.
Yeah, and right now, your main objective is to try and figure out where these last three defenders are. Even if you can figure out if site is clear, that still gives you enough intel to try and push and make some kind of aggressive play happen, per se. And you really need to start to think about doing it quick, especially as you hit under 40 seconds left to play, as now they have committed to an Aqua side push here, as we do have Hop playing close on the bomb. He's going to get Jackal tracked, though, trying to peek through the drone hole, maybe catch one, but now the 20-second marker is about to hit. 22 seconds on the clock as Fly takes some damage. It's gonna be bodies falling everywhere. Delta, the last one alive, trying to land some shots on the dock. 15 seconds left. Will use the ACOG of Jackal to try and find the last two, and he does! That will be Lean and Hop falling to a nice pair of kills here for Delta.
What have I said? I said at the beginning, I love Delta. I've talked to this man personally, an underage fragger, but he is fragging, and he just proved it there in a 2v1 with 15 seconds left. He had to make a play, and he finds both headshots on the mute and the dock. So looks like we're going to have a rehost here, but Delta coming up huge with that clutch.
Absolutely. Whew, I can turn my AC on for a little bit.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are currently getting everyone into the lobby, and we are about to jump right back into this one. A 3-0 starting off for Unreal Academy, and the third round coming off of a massive 3v1 clutch from iDelta.
Yeah, absolutely. A very, very clever and well played 1v3 clutch, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, that round was by no means his to win, and I personally think both of the remaining members just played that so horribly. There was no crossfire. Neither one of them were prepared for a push, even though they just shot him previously and knew he was pushing billiards. But at the end of the day, you can't go back on it. And at 3-0 right now, this is definitely not going in the direction that I would have expected. Although, of course, apparently fans know best, as this was 65% in favor for Unreal Academy.
Yeah, definitely not the start that I envisioned. I kind of thought it'd be a little bit closer, but so far it's really just come down to the miscues of tactical banditry. If we kind of look at what they've been doing these past 3 rounds, they've really just not capitalized on the other miscues for excuse me, Unreal Nightmare Academy. So we really have to look and kind of break down exactly if I needed to break down every round, I would be here all day. But basically, not positioning yourselves in the optimal places in order to give yourself the best opportunity to win. So both teams need to focus a little bit more on that, but Banditry especially. Now, if we kind of look at the setup they're bringing here for Kitchen, they aren't bringing a Mira, and that's a first step that I like to see. The Mira hasn't been working, so you kind of have to take these parts and change them a little bit.
Yeah, I have to say I'm glad they're not going to beat their head against a wall for a third time. They didn't bring the Mira last round, and it still didn't change anything. And I say that they should have won the round, so it should have changed something. But I do agree. I think the Mira was just not working in the way that they was hoping for it. And I got to wonder how much of that last round comes down to the fact that Smoke is gone. Like, imagine 30 seconds winding down. You could just smoke glitch through Rum, but it wasn't available because smoke is banned out. And that could be exactly what I was talking about in the beginning, that they ban that smoke knowing that they're going to try and run up this attack round. Lean, though, however, is going to say good night to Sir Meps, and he's going to look for a second.
Yeah, he did take that fight outside of hookah. Kind of risky, especially when you're a doc. When you're peeking with that ACOG, you are fully knowing that, you die, you lose that utility. I just kind of stole my words there, excuse me. But that's definitely a huge pick, as Mepslot is going to be off the board here. That's your Ash as well, dead. So already an improvement for Banditry, as they now have a 5-4 advantage early in this one, kind of stopping these guys in their tracks. We're going to see Artful try and spray through theater wall, getting the kills. Does he know that that's pinged? Is he just not going to fire at the... Huh? Oh, okay, so Zophia's going to push up. That's going to be iDelta dead. Oh, it's reinforced. Okay. I was like, why isn't he spraying through it? Oh, double kill. Cupcake's going to find a second. Can he find a third? I don't know. Excuse me. I am small brain.
You're completely fine. Fly is going to be able to find Confused, but he's going to be so low on health. You breathe on him, and he is going to be taken out of this one. It's down to a 2v4, and this might be the first time. And as Vly goes down, this could be the opportunity they need. They have had the opening kill in every single round.
Yeah, so having Vly down right here is going to make it a 1v4 situation. He's going to try and pick him up, but it's a risky play considering that there are 4 members of the defending side with trained barrels on your general location holding these crossfires. You make one wrong move and it could be absolutely detrimental. We are going to see Vly get picked up though, and now that wasted quite a bit of time though, and Vly is now at only a measly 20 HP. We have Ghost inside a theater. He's holding that long angle on 90 Hall. The stun grenades are going to be flashing in. There's really not much Unreal Academy can do here. It's going to be Ghost picking off Natural. Now looking for Vly, but he's all the way over by Cool Vibes. 20 seconds left. 4 enemies to kill. I think he's just gonna back off and play a tactical timeout here.
Yeah, that round really came off of the opening pick that we saw from Lean, but not only that, the 2K from the Jaeger on Cupcake, a beautiful 2K to not only take out Artful, who is that Jackal, but also Delta, who just came off of that big round. So the rehost is helping out quite tremendously for Tactical Banditry, as you see a complete 180 from what we have seen in the past 3 rounds of them throwing, in my opinion, rounds that they really should be winning. And this time they don't make that mistake, finally getting their first round on the board.
It really came down to that first pick too. Getting rid of Mepsalot really stalled their momentum, and it really messed with their head in that sense. It just completely neutralized that attack that they have been trying to establish, and it just did not play out in their favor. And really, that's what you can bring it down to. Yana going to be picked here from Artful, and we see Yana played quite a bit now in SCL. Why do you think that is?
I think it really comes down to the extra drones, the nades, and so many people love the G36C. It's a high fire rate. It hits very well. It's got 36 rounds. 36 rounds, I believe. It's just all around. It's got an angled grip. It's just a very good gun. Not to mention the ARX is also quite good, but for the most part on Iana, everyone's going to take that G36C. Is actually bringing smokes, so kind of weird that you have the opportunity there, but since they aren't bringing the Jackal and I guess the smokes is what they really are looking for here, maybe they're just trying to rotate to try and get Artful on a roll where he's feeling a bit more like himself. We saw him on the IQ. He was kind of hit or miss. We saw him on the Jackal. He really didn't do much. So now they're moving him to the Iana to see if maybe that can be where he starts to really ramp up.
Yeah, and really, if you look at Yana, she basically has 3 drones and then an infinite drone. Her hologram can offer so much intel, and I think that's kind of why you see her played so much in a lot of these games. She doesn't bring a lot in terms of utility, but in terms of intel, she is absolutely phenomenal. We see Cupcakes down here inside a kitchen, trying to peek outside a kitchen window, try and pull off a frag, but he will not find anybody, taking the risky engagement with the holographic here. The lion scan's coming out though, and that's natural special ability going off here. We are going to see Delta trying to push the kitchen hold here inside of service entrance. He's gonna land some shots though. Bunch of bodies fall, and it's ultimately going to end with a 4v3 advantage in favor of Banditry.
Yeah, I believe the way the kill feed is, that's the 5th opening kill in a row. All rounds have gone to Tactical Banditry. With that being said though, I don't even know if they know that not only is Jaeger still here, but it looks like they do have an idea that there might be another roamer, and Artful going to be able to find the frag onto the Jaeger. That's a big pick, and Bly picks up Ghost, and just like that, it's all coming together for the side of Unreal Nightmare Academy.
Yeah, definitely 2 crucial picks off the board. That will be your Jaeger and Mozzie now gone, leaving only your Rook and Mute. But do not count out this ACOG play here from Confused, because he can hold those long angles that not many other operators in this game for defense can hold so effectively and with such little effort, per se, in terms of how you want to place your crosshair. Artful going to be using his drone, try and get as much intel as possible for this last 50 seconds to push upstairs inside a hookah. Last time we saw Hop playing inside a hookah behind the bomb, he was not able to land the shots onto the Zofia of Delta. But that Yana hologram or Prisma or whatever you want to call it will be shot out, and now they're committing the Aqua yet again. 3 attackers from Unreal Academy do try and push up, and now Confused and Hop know that.
Yeah, the C4 is going to have to be played crucially here, but Confused is going to be able to find the kill onto Vly. Now you see Hobson getting a little low. The C4 is going to get ripped, but it is going to land on the correct person. It's going to take down Artful. Delta, though, is sticking the plant, and he's going to be able to get it down. But is he going to be able to get out of this? And he's not. As Confused picks up the double, and he's going to be able to get to the fuse, giving a second round of Tactical Banditry.
Yeah, and that's a really big round that Tactical Banditry really needed to win here, especially considering that you had already lost 3 rounds in a row, and 2 of them, which really you should have had in hindsight, should you have played better in your micro positioning, was just a little bit more ideal. Now, that round could have easily gone in favor of the attackers. It was a 3v2, and even though there were crossfires established by the defenders, you had the Yana, you had your drones, you already knew where they were, and you just had to come down. It came down to winning your gunfights. That C4 did not land on the planter, but it still took out a key member of the attackers to just try and push up and gain control of other parts of site, making it a little bit more difficult for the defenders to try and take it back. So overall, a well-played round from Tactical Banditry. They're clawing their way back into this one. 3-2, one-score game.
Yeah, like I said, with such an attack-favored map, if they can manage to bring it full circle here in a 3-3, they could put themselves in quite a good position to possibly go on the offensive here when they do make that site switch. With that being said, they really apparently do not like double bars. They opt to try their penthouse hold once again. We talked about it last time. The missed C4 is probably the main reason that they lost this round, as Natural was able to get that plant down. So that's going to be a big part of them fixing this round, making sure that those C4s are on point and getting kills. With that being said, the lineup looks almost identical. So unfortunately, still no hard breach being brought, but I think last time they opened up a line of sight anyways into VIP. So a hard breach being brought, not really necessary when line of sight is going to be made for you anyways.
Yeah, and when you look at this attacking lineup, they really haven't strayed away from that lion play, and why would you? It's been working to a T in that sense. It's really making these defenders uncomfortable on sight, and that's exactly what Lion needs to do. But Lion is only as good as the intel that you already have before you use his gadget. You want to know the defender's locations and kind of hold them in that position. And that's something in Siege that you don't see all that often, especially when it comes down to any kind of pro league or high level gameplay. A lot of teams drone out, find the positioned enemies, and they just try and cut the crossfires. Now, with Lion, you don't have to worry about that as much. If you send a Lion scan through and you know his location, you scan him, he's stuck in one place. Now, he does have red pings that give away his location, so that also just gives you even more intel. So, definitely Lion plays smart here. Mepsalot gonna find the first kill onto Lean, and no longer will Tactical Banditry be getting that entry frag for 5 times in a row. That's your Doc off the board, and you play too aggressive with the ACOG, and it doesn't pay off. But as I say that, Confused is gonna find the kill onto Natural, and Artful getting the refrag right on him almost immediately. Now making it a 3v4 situation, but in favor of the attackers.
Yeah, I have to say, getting rid of that line is definitely going to be quite helpful because it's going to take away any of those EE1Ds. I don't believe he even used one yet, if I remember correctly. But that's definitely going to make it a lot easier. We are going to see what looks like a straight push into the back of bedroom, and Artful has diffuser, meaning they can go for this, and they have all the crossfires needed. No one knows plant's going down because there's no information. Cupcake's is able to find one on the fly, but it's a 3v3 in post plant.
Yeah, and Hop trying to melee the barricade here on VIP. Cupcakes coming for that extra support. Artful knows that's where they're coming from. Ghost trying to push up over the Mira. Peek and contest I Delta on this prone. Actually, not prone. Repel near big window. They're going to push into VIP. A nice shot from Artful. Will find 2. His 3rd on the round, and it's going to be finished off by I Delta finding Cupcakes. A beautiful 2 shots here with the G8 in hand from none other than IQ. I just forgot his name. Wow, I'm so sorry.
Artful is going to be able to pick up what I believe to be a 3K on that round, and that is going to allow his team to go in the 4-2 split, which is definitely what you want on a map that's attacker-sided. There's not a lot of maps that are attacker-sided in our map pool, and so when you get here, you've got to take advantage of those kinds of things because attack is normally just so hindered by everything that the defense can bring, but this map, not like that, statistically proven.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes down to it, It's going to come down to how well you play. It doesn't matter if it's an attacker or defender-sided map. You want to look at exactly how these teams play and exactly what strategies you can use to maximize your chances of success.
So we're going to see the Blackbeard of Lean being brought out, and we're going to see pretty much kind of an identical lineup, minus obviously the Blackbeard. It's yellow for yellow, toxic for toxic, as people say Blackbeard is. So kind of an interesting lineup here. We are going to see that be brought out, but it's actually quite an interesting lineup and a lot of C4s on the side of Unreal Academy with 3, and they also have that pulse below.
Yeah, the pulse below is going to be a huge factor when you go into the end game. A lot of things that weren't functioning on Banditry's side is their end game was not really that great. It was less than ideal, I'll say, because you didn't have a Maestro. Now, Smoke is banned, but you had a lot of other operators, maybe like a Valkyrie, maybe like play that pulse below. And that's something that you're already seeing from Unreal Academy. They are trying to utilize that end game utility, especially using that pulse. Because at the end of the day, even if you clear sight, you forget to clear below, it can pay dividends when it comes down to trying to push in. But Blackbeard Lean's gonna push right into Hookah, not wasting any time. Cupcakes finds the kill onto Fly. We'll see if Lean can land the shots onto the one outside of Cool Vibes, but Natural with a C4 from below. Mipsalot going with that as well, but does not land it. But 2 Nitros off the board. And that will be your Blackbeard off the board via a Nitro cell. We see Cupcakes trying to contest those holes made by the C4. Now just trying to get the heck out of dodge and make sure he escapes with his life.
Yeah, I have to say the one thing that isn't really being brought is going to be that vertical presence. But of course, Hobson on this Jackal does have his secondary ITA, but it's not exactly the best shotgun to be making vertical holes with in a quick, timely manner. So with that being said, that could cause them some serious issues, and it might not allow them to play this as well as they could from above. And not to mention, I believe, is it Artful still has his C4.
Yeah, and that C4 could come into a lot of handiness when it comes down into the end game. A Nitro Cell lofted from behind, very hard cover will be your best friend. Mipsalot using his UMP to find a kill onto the IQ of Confused, though, now making it a 4v3 advantage in favor of Unreal, but quickly turned back into a tie man advantage as Natural will fall to the Jackal of Hop, sitting inside of Towels, spraying towards the couch in Sunrise, but iDelta ultimately finds the kill onto Cupcakes, and now it's all up to the Jackal and Ash, Ghost and Hop, respectively, to try and win this out with 25 seconds left. The sprays and the pre-fires are coming out, and there's not that much these guys can do. Hop's gonna have to push into B, but Mapsalot's gonna find him, and Ghost will fall as well. He'll find 4, a quad kill for him on this round, and the Pulse prevailing yet again.
I mean, Meps is really coming alive here and showing that that was a complete fluke. His stats don't prove the kind of player that he is, but we did see beautiful plays from around the board. iDelta managed to find a frag himself, and that's going to put them just 1 round off of match point. Both of Tactical Banditry's wins have been 7-5, so there's a good opportunity here that this is just what they like to do, and then they like to kind of turn on a switch. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Unreal Academy is going to have to throw pretty hard here, and I think at this point they've guaranteed themselves a draw.
I'd say it's kind of early. I know they're down by 3 scores, but in the end, it can go either way. It doesn't come down to throws. It just comes down to whose team can play better, who wants it more. Right now, it does seem that Unreal Academy wants this win more than Tactical Banditry, and as we go into the next round, if they win this round, they will guarantee themselves a point, and then Tactical Banditry will have to play for the tie or the loss, per se. That being said, Banditry could still bring this back, win 4 consecutive rounds, and guarantee themselves a point, and possibly win the game. Now, it is 5 rounds that they can do that, But we've seen crazier things happen here in Siege Cardinal League, so I'm definitely not one to count out the comeback.
I've never seen anything crazy in Siege Cardinal League a day in my life. We didn't almost see a reverse sweep in Season 2 in the finals. But with that being said, you're not wrong. I just think, realistically, the way that Unreal Nightmare Academy is playing, they just seem so lights out. I don't see them not being able to make this work. But with that being said, Confused is going to be able to take out Sir Mepsalot, and that's that 4 kills that he got from last round. Not going to be able to repeat success, but we saw Extra Cupcake do the exact same thing in round number 1, get 4 kills, and then was immediately traded off, or was the first death for this team in the round number 2, and they still lost that round either way. So good pick and a great start for this side of Tactical Banditry.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you can get an entry pick right off the bat, especially considering it's one of your more important fraggers when it comes down to it, that can absolutely shift the momentum in your favor. And right now, it's really in favor of Unreal as your Mozzie's off the board. That being said, you still have your Jaeger, your Maestro, your Valkyrie, and your Mute alive. And you do have 5 members of Banditry still on the roof, still trying to struggle to gain any kind of map control at this point in time. So even though they got that pick, they didn't really play off of it. And now they're just kind of really playing off of it. They're playing, okay, I'm screwing this up. They're not playing off of it, but they're not, they're not playing, like, off of it. Does that make sense?
I couldn't agree more with you.
You couldn't. That was such bull.
Oh, what a beautiful
Cupcake's
shot.
gonna find the kill, though. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna...
You're completely fine. Cupcake's going to be able to find the second kill onto Vly, and that Maestro that I was actually kind of happy that we were finally seeing is going to be brought out, but there is still IQ, and depending on where those black eye cams have been placed, he's going to have the opportunity to maybe go for a C4 from beneath, or just in overall have those positions. But, like I said, Delta is going to be able to find one onto Lean, but the plant is already going down. If nobody knows this is happening, this is going to be a free one as Confused kills Delta from below.
That's an absolutely gorgeous shot as Natural and Artful try and retake site. We now find ourselves in a post-plant situation. SMG-11 in hand, swinging out towards Hookah Balcony. Knows that there's always one playing outside of there, but there's going to be Hop sitting in the corner with the sledge. He'll find 2. Tactical Banditry win a round, and they needed this one. Bringing it back, 3-5.
Yeah, definitely finally seeing them. We've seen this, like that was one of the things that was so frustrating is in rounds, well, honestly 1 through 3, Tactical Banditry looks so good. I felt like they should have won every single one of those rounds, specifically the 3rd round with Delta or the 1v3 clutch. And it's those moments that make me think there is a possibility of a comeback, but it's been so sporadic that it almost just feels like they're gonna have the opportunity to do it and then drop the ball. Hopefully they can go ahead and make this exciting. If they can win another one, we're at 5-4, and all of a sudden, it's a ball game.
Yeah, and absolutely, especially on a map like Coastline, it can really go either way when it comes down to it. So we're gonna find Unreal Academy, Unreal Nightmare Academy, excuse me, inside of Kitchen. So this site really is going to favor the attackers if they can establish that top floor control and really work from the top to the bottom and pick off all the roamers.
Yeah, we're going to see some interesting picks come out here. We have the Doc, who I assume possibly might play Kitchen, maybe try to play a little bit of a long angle. We also have the Valk and the Castle. Castle's been one that we've seen be brought out a bit more as we continue to go, but we are going to see what looks to be a little bit of horizontal reinforcements as we see some of Sunrise to Blue Bar being reinforced off, maybe hinting towards a more horizontal hold versus a vertical one.
Yeah, and when you're looking at a site like Kitchen, you do want to establish those crossfires from above, and even though the defenders will rarely challenge the vertical presence that the attackers establish, it can still be done, and it can be very surprising for the attackers to get killed through one of the holes they already made.
So it'll be interesting to see how they take this, if they've even read into the fact that it is not a vertical hold from the side of Unreal Academy. And I feel like, for me personally, I feel like when you have a hold like this, it's always a retake hold. The whole point is you let them make their holes, you let them play that vertical play, and then when they feel like they're ready, when they feel like they're prepared, you crash back onto site and just absolutely destroy them because it's just so unexpected out of nowhere. So we're gonna have to see if that's maybe the thought process going for here. Lean is gonna be playing on that cool vibes, however, and he is gonna be able to drone out I Delta and a Blackbeard versus the Jaeger. But unfortunately, like I said, he's just gonna throw away both drones for nothing. I mean, this is something I've talked about time and time again. And Artful gonna be able to find the opening kill onto Confused, and that is your IQ down.
Yeah, and following it up, Lean will also be off the board as well as the moving parts from Banditry start to falter as Artful will find his second onto Hop. Now it's all up to Ghost and Cupcakes, your two leading fraggers on this team, to try and make something happen. You have the Jaeger of I Delta above trying to find these last two members. He's getting sprayed through the wall though. Now knows his location of the attackers, moving up slowly and trying to stall as much time just to let the Nitro Cell kill him from below. Delta will find the last one. Ghost will fall. A flawless round for Unreal Academy. They guarantee themselves a point here.
You know, I don't want to say I called it, but it was just something that I said. Unreal Academy feel lights out, and even when they seem like they're down and around, they've proven that they can manage to bring it back. And the difference with what I felt in this game is that they have not thrown away that man advantage a lot like we saw Tactical Banditry do in some of their earlier rounds on defense. And I feel like that's the main reason we're seeing such a lopsided score. There's 2 rounds at least that should have been won by Tactical Banditry, and this should be a 5-5 with anybody being able to have an opportunity to take this win. But because Unreal Academy was able to take advantage of rounds that they shouldn't have been able to with man advantages that they did not have, they're able to be up 6-3 on a match point, and all they have to do is win 1 in the next 3, and they will go ahead and get their
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
first
And
win of the
Banditry
season.
could be one of the people in line to have that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think Tactical Banditry definitely has already proven that they have the capability to play at an extremely high level here in SCL. So 100% they could just turn lights out, and we could maybe see some slip ups. It's just going to have to be something that we see played by ear. This team is loving this triple C4 as they have brought, I think, 3 C4s every single defensive round. And not only that, but they are bringing the IQ, which is, or not the IQ, the Valk, which is something we never really saw from the side of Banditry. No real information ops. And I do like that a bit more from the side of Unreal Nightmare Academy.
Yeah, a lot of teams actually try and ban Valkyrie here on Coastline because of the Valk Cam runouts and all of the cheeky spots that people put them. So really, you have to watch out. And even though Banditry has ran an IQ every time, and as I say that, IQ will fall, coincidentally, that's confused off the board. Valkyrie is just so powerful, and if you don't know where her cameras are, it can be absolutely mind-boggling when you get killed by a run out or a nitro cell from below.
That is by far the worst start you could have. Not only is it the IQ, but Confused has had glimpses of pure fragging capability, and for him to get taken off the board so early on from Mepsalot, the Valk of all people, is really going to cause a rift. Not only that, but you're on match point, and going down in man advantage is definitely not going to help the morale of your team or the mindset that this can still be done. Granted, Tactical Banditry I've seen in multiple leagues, and I really doubt them being down a man and on match point is going to affect them as much as it might affect some other T3 teams who might be more new to the scene.
Yeah, both of these teams are new in that sense that they haven't played in Siege Cardinal League as the established org. So Unreal Nightmare Academy has the org of Unreal Nightmare in SCL, but their academy team has not played. Although we do have some veterans, Delta, multiple times we've said that we've seen him there. But Tactical Banditry, absolutely brand new to Siege Cardinal League in terms of this is their first season. So you got to be careful when it comes down to those engagements. But it's going to be Hop finding the kill, actually being killed by Delta. But Delta will be refragged by Lean as he's going to pick up a second. And that will be Meepsalot off the board. Natural will fall as well. It's all up to Artful and Vly. But Vly's going to get taken out by Ghost, his second on the round. And the attackers, Banditry, finish it off here in the round.
I mean, I just said that I felt like Unreal Academy have not been throwing away those man advantages, and they managed to, I believe it was 3-5 still at one point before the 2 quick frags from Lean and Ghost came out. And just like that, we saw them manage to throw away a round where they had a very good man advantage. Although Lean and Ghost having an absolute great round, it just shows that anything can happen. And if some of these other players wake up, it's going to cause a real issue. Now 6-4, still have to bring 2 back, but it looks like Lean has maybe finally found his home off of that Blackbeard and onto the Capitao.
Yeah, Capitao is a niche pick here on Coastline, in my opinion. The only time he's really valuable is if you go for a kitchen or a hookah plant. But when you look at sites like Blue Bar and Penthouse, he's kind of useless. So it's going to be a hookah site, though, and Capitao is an operator that will be pretty effective in this round. He'll use his incendiary bolts, the smoke grenades, so hopefully Lean can make something happen with those operators and the utility at his disposal. Bold prediction, Wet Nude. I think that Banditry is actually going to win this round. Why? Because I think that between the smoke grenades of Capitao and Jackal, they're going to be able to get a plant off on Aqua side, and Unreal Academy will not see it coming.
Definitely a very interesting thought process, as they do have Vly. So, of course, for your prediction to be correct, either Vly will have to die or those Maestro cams taken out. Not only that, they have Delta, who is using those Valk cams. So, I think there's a possibility that even with smokes, there's an opportunity that they'll be able to see the plant. But I do like where your thought process is going, and I do think it is definitely a very not so bold, but more very analytically correct way of looking at it. There is quite a few smokes, and they are going to have that ability to attempt to try and smoke and maybe fire and go for plant. Not to mention the smoke is gone, banned, so you're not even going to have to worry about the smoke on the defense causing you any issues, but they are going to lose 2 drones just trying to get in to this sunrise, and Meepsalot is just going to fall off.
Yeah, I think once Banditry realized that there's nobody downstairs in Blue Bar and Office, that could be their key to try and take control of the bottom floor and work their way up. When you look at a map like Coastline, you want to try and establish multiple levels of control. We are going to see Meepsalot take the kill off onto Lean, though, and that's your Capitao and his utility off the board. Natural will be refragged, though, via Hop. So now you will see that push through Blue Bar and Office by Hop, and I talk about getting multiple areas of pressure, and it really just looks like right now Tactical Banditry is kind of spread out on their attack, but the wide swing from Extra Cupcakes will find Vly. Spraying down towards Cool Vibes will not net him anything, but that's your Maestro off the board, and odd position to put your Maestro, considering that he's so valuable in the end game. You don't want to be on the front lines. Will be confused by the kill on the Meepsalot, though, and now it's a 4v2 as Delta and Artful, the last 2 defenders remaining.
Yeah, this has definitely been an absolutely beautiful start. We saw Lean kind of play that, what I felt like what he did was really dumb. And unfortunately, it's going to cost him his life, but everyone fragging out. Delta does manage to find 1 onto Hobson, but it's not going to matter. But he does manage to find 2. We've seen this man clutch up before, but can he do it again? And this time, it's going to be a no, as Confuse is able to finish him off as he attempts to go for that C4. Imagine the C4 lands, and he's able to flick that one. Would have been quite the clutch, but not to be, as Confused kills him with the own operator that he clutched on.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that my prediction was incorrect, because technically Banditry won. they kind of pushed through Aqua, but it was more of a hookah take. Their Capiteo got taken out. Jackal didn't actually use the smoke grenades. It really just came down to them winning their gunfights. So, yes, it's now a one-score game. We'll see if Banditry can tie it up, and they can both guarantee themselves a point. Or will Unreal Nightmare Academy take the win here, 7-5? Find out. Last round, 12.
So we are going to go the distance, and I think that's super awesome. But I got to say, this is going to be so painful if you're Unreal Nightmare Academy. You had it. You were playing so good. And then all of a sudden, it's like another gear from Banditry just comes in saying, you know what, we really don't want to lose this map. We're okay with drawing it, but we don't want to lose it. And I think that's going to absolutely crush Unreal Nightmare Academy. We're up 6-3 at one point, and it just looks like it's slipping from their hands. We are going to see ourselves go to Kitchen, which is, I believe, if I go back, they won this in round number 9. So they are definitely going to the bomb site where they look the absolute best here on defense. And we're going to have to see if they can make it work. They are going to do the exact same hold. So it might be able to get read into a little bit better by Tactical Banditry if they notice that this is the same hold coming out.
Yeah, I have to say that right now, you gotta pull out all of the bag of tricks, per se. You want to try and confuse both sides. You've played 11 consecutive rounds, and they've played out very similarly. Now you have to look and think, okay, what can we do different? What can we surprise them with? What will work? What won't work? Let's do it. Let's execute, and let's do it now. So, definitely gonna be interesting to see these last few rounds. But I'm gonna say this from an analytical standpoint, it's gonna come down to the last 20 seconds, and it's gonna come down to a 1v1.
Definitely an interesting thought process, as it feels like we haven't seen a 1v1 in ages on this map alone. But we are going to see them take from the Aqua side and Hookah, so they are going to be able to start pushing in for that. One of the differences is we're not going to see a pulse, although the pulse, I think, was only brought on double bar. But it is going to allow this sledge to just pretty much, as long as he doesn't stay in the same area for too long, he's going to be able to dodge a C4, and I believe that's going to be the first one coming out from Sir Mepstalot. It's not going to be able to find its target, but it is going to take down quite a bit of health. But the second one from Artful is going to be able to find the opening frag onto Sledge.
Yeah, and that's really what you want to try and do with your Nitro cells. You want to try and deny that vertical pressure that the attackers are establishing, and what better way to do that than to loft a Nitro cell up onto the ceiling and detonate it. That is probably one of the easiest ways you can do that. You can hear them through the floor, and you can get rid of them. Vly, though, going to be taken off the board via Lean now, making it a 4v4 situation. It's going to be the Mute peeking out, though, of Artful, getting a little bit too cheeky. Mipsalot going to find a kill onto Lean, though. Now, making it a 4v3, spraying in towards Sunrise, droned out, and his location is now known. We'll see where the rest of Banditry are sat right now, and it's going to be a Sunrise and Cool Vibes push here. They have to worry about Natural, though, inside a blue bar, and that could prove to be fatal. And just as I say that, Confused will be felled, and now it's all up to Ghost and extra cupcakes of Tactical Banditry to win a 2v4.
Yeah, this is kind of like what I said when Delta clutched up that 1v3. These two players are definitely players that aren't going to be strangers to the clutch game, but Delta not going to allow that clutch from Ghost, and it's going to be extra cupcake to find it. But he's almost down to 25 HP, and in a 1v3 with 3-4 health defenders,
he's got no time. He's got no time. He's just got 13 seconds left. We've seen Unreal Academy not capitalize on all of the situations. It's going to be Cupcakes reloading, spraying through the wall, trying to get anything, but no. Unreal Academy will win it out here and make it 7-5 here on Coastline. And that's the kill, the final kill from Natural. Through the box, we'll find him.
What an absolute nail biter as it comes down to the final wire. Like I said, it's been a long time since we've seen a 1v1, and it did not come down to that. But either way, at the end of the day, a beautifully well-played map from Unreal Nightmare Academy, and Delta top fragging, just proving Coastline is his map. So we're gonna wait to see if we get anyone in here for an interview. Hopefully, someone should pop up soon. Yeah, thoughts on the map?
The map or like the match in general?
Yeah, the match. Yeah.
The match, I would say it really was almost a stellar comeback here from Tactical Banditry. I don't know if it came down to miscues at the end there, but it just seemed that everything that they had been working for kind of just fell apart in those last few seconds. And I said you can't count them out because it was a one-score game at the end of the day. These teams played outstanding today, and you can't take that away from either of them. They both came ready to play, and they were able to capitalize on all of the opportunities that were given to them. Now, we're just going to kind of ignore Unreal Academy throwing a few of those rounds that were really a 3v1, 1v3, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, both teams played outstanding, and they should be proud of that. And moving into the next week, they should be having a chip on their shoulder, each of them, because even though Unreal Academy is going to come out of here with two rounds, Banditry should not be in any position that they don't feel accomplished for what they did today, because they played well. Unreal Academy just played better.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it looks like we're gonna pull Fogo, the coach, in. So we'll go ahead and get him in here. Fogo, my man, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm breathing. A beautiful play from Unreal Nightmare Academy. We hadn't yet seen them get a win here in SCL. How does it feel to finally get that first win of the season?
It's pretty refreshing. It's actually kind of nice to get a little one in the win column because we were definitely needing it. We feel like we haven't been playing our best game in SCL, so we were excited to come out and finally get a dub.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Did you guys pick up iDelta last week or this week?
Well, our official, like, hey, he's officially a part of the roster, I think was about 2 weeks ago. And then so he's been playing with us for quite a while.
So you go to Coastline. Was that the map you guys were kind of hoping to take it to?
Yeah, it was definitely in our like pool of these are maps we would really like to play. And I mean, it was kind of surprising that they like let it go through because we're kind of known to be a pretty decent coastline team. So, but I mean, so are they. Like Tactical Banditry is like also a really good coastline team, and they leave it up a lot. So I knew that it was going to be a banger.
Can we talk about the smoke ban? What was the thought process of that?
Yeah, so the smoke ban throws a lot of teams off because a lot of teams will rely very heavily on smoke to counter pushes. And so to take that very useful tool out of the hands of our opponents is really, really useful for us because we know how to play without the smoke. And so a lot of times whenever we are on coast and we pull out the smoke ban, it just like makes teams just kind of go bananas. And so it's like just a really big advantage for us.
I mean, it definitely paid off, and it was something we talked about in the beginning of the game when we did see that ban. Is so many teams. I talked about it specifically on the 1v3 clutch from iDelta in round number 3, and I was just thinking, imagine if you have a smoke there with those 20 seconds left. I mean, you literally have to throw that round even harder to lose that. iDelta absolutely popped off. I mean, clutch after clutch, you guys played so good. You were bringing the Lion Jackal combination, and is that just something you guys kind of try to bring to help clear roamers a bit faster? Is it just because Coastline is still one of the few maps where I think Lion really still thrives?
Yeah, so Coastline is a map where you can cut off rotates like crazy well because it's basically just a massive box. And so the Lion Jackal, which I know that like a lot of teams will say that it's like pretty AIDS, which I guess it is, but like, hey, we're in comp, like we're here to win. So, but it really helps with roam clear and with cutting off rotates. And I mean, we still have to win our gunfights, so like it doesn't really matter. But It's just a useful tool for us.
Now, did you expect Penthouse to come out in round number 1? Is that something that maybe you'd seen in VOD? Because they did play Powerhouse on Coastline in week number 1.
We were kind of expecting it. We had our push. If the castle was up, we kind of had our push down on what we wanted to do. It got a little spicy there in the first round, but I mean, it wasn't unexpected, but we weren't like gunning for it either. Like we weren't expecting them to completely go for it. We were expecting either like a blue bar or a hookah first site.
Well, ironically, they didn't go double bar once, so kind of an interesting take there. I mean, you guys played absolutely lights out. I kind of made the prediction once you guys went up. I believe it was 5-2. I really didn't think you guys were going to get anything less than a draw, and you managed to get that first win. It's got to feel great. Also, from the coach's perspective, you put in a lot of effort. I mean, I don't know. I know Delta's underage only because I've talked to him before, but you know, mentally, a lot of losses can weigh on people, especially those that haven't really grown up a little bit yet. So I'm sure that win is going to boost the confidence of everyone on the team.
Yeah, I actually, I will say our team in terms of mentality is really, really strong. I mean, we have pretty good mentality. It's something that we work on actually, like something that I try to really stress to these guys, that if like you're not mentally in the game or you're tilted or whatever, it's going to affect your performance. So that is one thing that since day one, since I've joined these guys, we've been really, really adamant about good mentality and keeping your mental state clear and focused and uplifted so that you can perform to your best potential. And they've been doing a wonderful job about that. I mean, this win is definitely going to help going forward with our mentality. But you know, I don't think that we are faltering at all in mental state for sure.
Well, you guys played absolutely out of your shoes. I mean, we saw 3K from Artful. There was a 4K from Meps. I mean, you guys were all over the board with just multi-kills left and right. And it just really felt like, I mean, looking through it, just felt like everyone kind of did their own part. No one really felt like they really slacked off. For the most part, it was kind of weird because it honestly felt like opening kill lost you more rounds than it won you.
Yeah.
Just trying to look back, that's not normally how it works out. But I will say, I think you guys played the man advantage way better. I think round 1 through 3, I honestly kind of felt like you guys should not have won. Round 3 is obvious for anyone.
Agreed.
But I really felt like you guys were able to keep it under calm, cool collectness, which is something you talked about with the mentality of your boys. And I think it really showed. I really felt like you guys, without man advantage, were able to really bring it back in your favor, which is not something we see a lot of teams do. Some teams falter. Some teams just go for what we would call big ball plays. But you guys just played it smart. Round 1, you put plant down, just played post plant. Round 2, you just kind of waited for your opportunities, and then round 3, you had the clutch. So I will commend you guys very well for your ability to bring back a round, even though you are at a severe man disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, having the man advantage is something we found ourselves in a position a lot this map, and then ended up losing a lot of those rounds. But that's just, you know, something we'll pull up in VODs. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about what happened. But for sure, I mean, like I said, our mental state is probably one of our strengths, and these boys do amazing. If they're in clutch situations, it's almost like they strive for it. I mean, Delta's he's freaking nuts. Like, I think that's enough for anybody to be like, okay, yeah, this guy's pretty insane. But he was a great pickup, and yeah, with the other 4 just being super supportive of him, and everybody really is supporting each other. Whenever we go down a man, it's like it's not that big of a deal for us.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. Delta has been in the top running for top rated player, I believe, every season of SCL. So definitely a great pickup for you guys. But the rest of the team really came in big, especially Meps and Artful. With that being said, though, if there's anything you'd like to say to your fans, well, Matt, if you have any questions, you can ask them. My apologies. That was rude of me.
I have one question. What is your team doing to prepare for next week?
We these boys put in work. You know, every day, every week. It doesn't matter when. These boys are hard workers. We have good scrims. We really like just put in the grind to make sure that we are consistently improving. And they're juggling with, you know, school and sports and all these things that are outside of Siege, and they're still putting in the time to better as a team and to better themselves. And I mean, we take every week by every week. You know, we got a lot of stuff on our schedule, but that doesn't sway us. You know, we're ready to fight. We're ready to gun. Like, we're ready to play some good, clean Siege. So, yeah, we're just gonna get back, heads down, and start grinding.
All right. Well, you heard it from the man Fogo himself. Thank you for joining us in the casting booth, and good luck in the future.
Yes, thank you so much.